Hey everyone, welcome to Logan Smosh Pick. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to do another episode of the Setlist Snubs series. In this series we're going to discuss some songs from different bands that don't get played live very much. However, I'm going to give you some reasons why I feel like those underrated songs actually deserve to get played live more often than they do. If there's someone specific you guys want me to talk about in a future episode of this series, please leave a comment down below. I'll check your feedback. What's the only band you need a stethoscope to hear? Heart. I can hardly wait to talk about them. A female-fronted rock group guided by the Ernest Wilson sisters, Ann and Nancy. If anyone has broken through the proverbial glass ceiling, it's them. Heart has plainly established themselves as legends. Before I get to Heart's underrated songs, I want to summarize potential reasons why all bands, not just Heart, are guilty of holding hands with certain songs live and slapping others away from the set list. I run through these reasons every time to appease new viewers. However, if you're already familiar with the Setlist Snub series, kindly fast forward until you reach the end of this part. The first reason is casual fans scramble to play hit singles. For Heart, Barracuda, Magic Man, Crazy on You all fit the bill. Tunes outside this defining realm don't appeal to casual fans in the slightest. Another reason would be jumbo pressure caused by fans and even fellow band members slowly but surely erodes bands' willpower. They probably won't even notice. In a subtle way, it basically orders them to remain glued on their most popular tracks at shows in order to keep the fans who attend jubilant. When fans depart satisfied, then the odds of them buying tickets to an upcoming concert rise exponentially. Reason 3 reflects songs found on albums which lack the exalted reputation of their discography family. In simpler terms, albums that sold poorly. To be honest, those type of tunes barely limp out of the studio. Most concert goers wouldn't approve of them. The next reason, reason 4, involves songs that wore out their welcome from unrelenting repetition. Sometimes bands can't take it anymore. They purposely hide those annoying tracks of their own from the set list. As far as I know, Heart is yet to do so. Reason 5 is related to the vastness of casual fans compared to hardcore fans. There are far more casual fans to go around. Unfortunately, musicians are much more inclined to respect the wishes coming from casual fans. They typically determine which tunes gain entry to the set list each night. The final reason concerns songs that were disfigured on an enormous scale within the studio, loaded with technological tricks. Therefore, when these pieces get transported to a stage setting with primitive equipment, they sound nothing like they were intended. So, what's the point of trying? It's destined to backfire. Now that we've polished off my reasons, let's move on to some outstanding stats courtesy of Setlist.fm. I'll put a link to Setlist.fm in the description. A more practical way to locate Setlist.fm is to go to Google, type in any band or solo artist you want, followed by the words tour statistics, and tap on the first search results. Then you'll be mesmerized by the swarm of songs, albums, and tour information. According to Setlist.fm, Heart's tour ticker began ticking all the way back in 1973. Since then, Crazy on You has scaled to the tippy top of live Heart performances. Thus far, Crazy on You has entered 830 arenas. To put this number in perspective, imagine you were hell-bent on listening to Crazy on You 830 times in a row, non-stop without any breaks. Not only would it drive you crazy, but it would also eat up 244,020 seconds of your life, or 2.8 days would elapse. Basically a whole weekend. Well, since the stats are done, let's talk about my list of 5 horribly underrated Heart tracks, each one off a different album. I put them in descending order, plus I'll leave a link to all 5 songs in the description. I assume those of you watching at this very moment happen to be Heart fans. Why else would you watch? So please comment other underrated Heart tunes I missed in the comments. My first pick is called Shell Shocked, peeled from Heart's self-titled album. I'm shocked that it has been performed live a meager 62 times, 7% versus Crazy on You. It opens with a snazzy riff, Throughout Shell Shock, it nearly sounds like the guitar is racked with pain, sputtering and gasping. Then Ann Wilson's unmistakable voice rings out clear as a bell. I like the subtle modifications, such as the stutter they slipped into the chorus. I think the best moment of the song arrives right after the great guitar solo. Ann belts out quite a nasty scream. Her very airy tone turns smoky. At the end of Shell Shock, her voice quivers, providing clues that the main character feels totally spent. All these reasons and more make Shell Shock the cream of the crop on my list. Next, bring your parachute along for High Time, found on the Dog and Butterfly record. Sadly, High Time has had a hard time getting to shows, currently frozen at 29 times. Pretty ironic because the first 10 seconds consist of noise taken from a crowd. It was funny how the vocals gingerly entered the picture. All of a sudden they rammed into the title. The instrumental portions remind me of a Looney Tunes segment where the character sneaks around. You know how they insert the footstep sound effects? Something pretty similar happening here. It's extremely dope how the guitars essentially copied the vocal flow during certain points. You could hear the words within. I love when tunes try this out. I'll probably be hearing, "It's high time for you, it's high time for you," in my head all day long. Super snappy chorus. The ending ties up every loose end. Personally, I believe the most satisfying conclusion to a song is dispersing one hot chord that carefully fades away. How about some Sweet Darlin' perched on the tail end of my favorite Heart album, B.B. Lestrange? Here's a not-so-sweet stat. Sweet Darlin' has only left the studio on 25 occasions. With the possible exception of Nobody's Home, I can't come close to fathoming such a top-tier sob-fest Heart composition. A dreamy piano took the guitar's place. I just lost it when she let loose this punctured exclamation. Early this morning, we knew I had to fly. Engines were screaming, and still I was asking myself why. High on the wind, I was feeling my sweet darling cry. My heart was breaking. At that point, I wanted to reach through the screen and reassure her that everything was going to be okay. If you weren't sold on the song yet, skip to 105. I guarantee it will change your mind. It's one of those songs that leads you, not the other way around. As beautiful as a bouquet of roses. The first listen left me breathless. I'm sure if you turned on Sweet Darlin' for a room full of folks, there wouldn't be a dry eye in the room. After Sweet Darlin', Sing Child serenades us, thanks to their debut Dreamboat Annie album. It owns a measly record of 22 recorded concerts. You'll definitely see a Sing Child guitar cover on my channel in the future. Stay tuned for that. There's a jarring gap between the choir-like harmony and prickly riffs. You can practically visualize words inflating until they burst. I'm particularly fond of the Noah, 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 try it again. That snippet. Scatty random lyrics. Holy Junkie, Funky Monkey, for example, takes me back to the Beatles' Come Together, released a few years before. I thought it was interesting the Heart tacked on a flute or something. I wasn't expecting that. In fact, roughly half the song features a giddy, fairy tale instrumental. Hints at Heart's youthfulness, like we're just starting out. This is all new to us. We don't know what we want. We're up for whatever, as long as it sounds good. Let's wing it. Finally, we will close with Dream of the Archer, part of the Little Queen record. Dream of the Archers hit a bullseye 13 times. Heart sure slowed things down here. Not that I'm complaining. It seems incredibly lovely, sort of a spiritual successor to Sweet Darlin'. For an acoustic bass flavor, Dream of the Archer would undoubtedly be the star of the show. It moves like delicate lapping waves, light as a feather, emits old-fashioned vibes. Those angelic harmonies rival any of Heart's premium offerings. I'm telling you, this song represents a fabulous reward for digging a little deeper into their catalog. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Until then, rock on.